In May, we brought you the story of how the coronavirus has challenged the way hospitals think about the design of their facilities. That includes everything from how doctors and nurses move through hallways to ways which the patients' beds are arranged. Tonight, NewsHour Weekend's Christopher Booker takes us inside a Pennsylvania company that has set its sights on changing the ways in which air is being moved and filtered through our buildings.
It may look and sound like a traditional production facility, but since this spring, this Allentown, Pennsylvania factory has been helping to produce cutting-edge technology for the frontline battle against coronavirus.
In March, we were getting a number of inbound calls from the physicians, and they were saying, we're seeing patients, we see the virus, we see what it's doing. Does the LifeAire system kill COVID-19?
Dr. Katie Warlow, the CEO of LifeAire, says the answer is yes. Designed to kill anthrax spores, Dr. Warlow says their system can kill any number of viruses, including the coronavirus.
The HEPA filter's always been the gold standard, and it does a great job for a lot of things, but COVID, for example, is a very, very small virus, and so it can penetrate, your HEPA filter. Any airborne virus, bacteria, or mold that enters our system will be destroyed, so you can have extreme confidence that all the airborne infectious pathogens will be removed.
Just how busy have you been?
Extremely. We're getting inbound calls from higher ed, elementary schools, dental practices, aviation, transportation.
Across the board?
Across the board.
And are you guys currently on back order? Does it take a long time to complete the orders?
We're trying to keep up the best we can.
LifeAire's production facility is running at full steam. Dr. Warlow says the company has had to increase staff in response. And while demand is currently outstripping supply, the system is currently in use in some hospitals.
What the system does, it essentially augments our ability to reduce the likelihood of another person, especially someone who's not in the immediate vicinity or may come into this space later on, from contracting the virus.
Dr. Stan Stawicki is a surgeon at St. Luke's Hospital in Allentown, the only hospital in the region with the LifeAire system.
It may not prevent close proximity transmission of the virus, but it may spare someone on the other end of this floor from contracting the virus if you or I were to have it and be actively infectious.
And according to a joint study from St. Luke's and LifeAire, it may also reduce time spent in the hospital. Before the coronavirus pandemic, the hospital studied the length of stay for patients in zones with the LifeAire system and those without.
In general, what we found is that patients tended to stay in a hospital for fewer days. And we also found that the cost of their hospitalization was significantly lower.
For a layman, is this basically because there was less stuff circulating through the air that would potentially expand someone's stay in the hospital?
That is our assumption. This may be an important component in an overall quest to reduce infections and complications patients experience during the hospitalizations. More research is needed for us to get to that level. But I think what we've done is we opened the door to a whole new area of research, clinical research and investigation in this important area of air filtration, air quality, and how it affects patients and their well-being.